All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Want to thank the members of this channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle, blah, blah, blah. This is every year news. Auburn has one of the toughest schedules in all of college football. What else is freaking new? Auburn has to play LSU. Auburn has to play Georgia. Auburn has to play pretty much every team that out-recruits them every year. Then on top of that, have the situation where you can get snuck up on by Ole Miss or Mississippi State, a team traditionally that you should be better than. And then on top of that, every now and then Auburn has this MO of struggling with the Mercers and the Georgia States of the world. So yes, the schedule is going to be tough. What's the difference though? What will be the thing that gets Brian Harsin over this struggle? Well, number one, you definitely got to play really good defense. And I think you got to defend the pass very well, and you have to get your asses off the field on third down. 3rd and 15's got to be a lot. We got to get off the field. Continuation of drives after things have been stopped. The 3rd and 15 dagger in the heart. That's that Derek Mason stuff from last year has to go. Maybe Brett Smetting can end that for the Tigers as a defensive coordinator. Number two, if Auburn's is going to have a shot at all, first 5 games have to be absolutely focus driven to where losing is not an option. Anything less than 4-2 for the Tigers, you can forget it. The team will be demoralized, especially when you look down the stretch at what's ahead. It's just going to be hard to recover. Now, I will say in 2017, Auburn found themselves in this kind of predicament, went on to beat 2 number 1 teams in November. Alabama, Georgia, both of them saw each other in the national championship game. Alabama won in overtime. At the same time, you don't want to keep being the product of this story, to where, yeah, you beat the 2 best teams in the country, but, no goal to show for it. All right, so if Auburn's going to have any kind of say as far as just being respectable, at this point, considering all that has transpired during the offseason and the epic collapse during the regular season, at this point, you just kind of want to be respectable, I think. I'm not saying you ever want to make respectable as a goal, but when you go from 6-7 and then you're trying to reach a different kind of plateau, respectability is kind of what you aim for. I remember this one manager that I had. There's a guy that reported to me. And I probably shouldn't have said this. I was a real asshole for saying this. I told him, man, if you would just compare it to what you got going on, if you would just be mediocre, you'd be good. I'm not saying that Auburn wants to be mediocre by any stretch, because I think Auburn has a really talented football team. As far as depth goes, I think that's could get Auburn in trouble again, especially at the offensive line and maybe some other positions that we haven't talked about. But I think you can't go from 6-7 and expect a team to make a run for the SEC championship the next year. Those are those unrealistic expectations that I'm talking about. And that's just what you got to live with. Auburn went 6-7 last year, brand new coach. Now you got a brand new staff basically again. You're turning over the staff again. Still needing the transfer portal to fill your stock as far as personnel goes. So what in your mind would tell you that Auburn would be in the top 4 or 5 contention, top 4 contention for the SEC as far as making a run for it? There's nothing that indicates that. Who's the starting quarterback? Most teams who are in contention outside of Texas A&M, I don't think Texas A&M with Zach Calzada leaving. I got to look at them to see where they are quarterback-wise. Georgia's got their quarterback coming back. Auburn had not Auburn, but let's see, you got Texas A&M doesn't necessarily have anything solidified. Stetson Bennett coming back at Georgia. Alabama has their quarterback coming back. Pretty sure Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin will figure something out up there in the Mississippis. The Mississippi schools, when they have good coaches, they can sneak up on you. You remember Ole Miss and Mississippi State from 2013, 2014, a little bit of 2015? They weren't that bad. When they get some good coaches in there, now don't get me wrong, I don't think they can keep them because the sustainability of talent is just so hard there. But yeah. Yeah. This is going to, okay, guys, this is always going to be a narrative. As long as Auburn is in the SEC West, as long as Alabama is a constant on the schedule, they thought they were doing themselves a good deed by splitting Georgia and Alabama up on the schedule. I mean, it is what it is. You still got to face them. As long as teams in the SEC continue to trend recruiting-wise as it has been, and the future holds Oklahoma and Texas entering the SEC conference. So it's not going to get any easier. What's Auburn got to do? Bottom line, they got to recruit better. Continue to recruit better. These feel-good stories, these preferred walk-ons, nothing against them. I think they're pretty good. And I think they will prove to be very good. There's nothing to knock that. But it has been statistically proven that most of the highly rated players in the country produce. And that's where you see the Georgias, the Alabamas, and all those other teams of the world consistently being productive with 9 to 10 wins per year. And just by default, making it to New Year's Six Bowls. Wouldn't it be nice for the New Year's Six Bowl to be a disappointment? Right? Not making the college football playoff a disappointment. Getting into the New Year's Six Bowl. You do that with recruiting. All right, guys, this is my time here. Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football. Leave in the comment section what you want the next video to be about. Thankful again for the members. And also, I'm going to leave the Cash App. Man, y'all have been tearing this Cash App thing up. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. And yes, we know Auburn has the toughest schedule in the country. They always will. Always have. War Eagle.